I promised you we were going to talk a little bit about politics, and I want to talk about your own politics, your own personal politics. You were very vocal and outspoken about supporting who is now the former president the last time. You have been less outspoken this time. We're all going to watch the debate tonight. So before we even get into the lessons and everything that you've learned and all of your prior experience, are you planning to support the president this time?
You know, I'm
the former president, I should say.
You hold a gun to my head. I'll vote for Trump. I'd rather have him vote than Biden. I'm not going to give any money to his super PAC. I'm going to be less involved in all these ways. And man, look, it is. And then I don't know. I think Trump will win. I think he will win quite solidly. It's not. I don't think it's going to even be close. And then my pessimistic look ahead function is after he wins, there will be a lot of buyer's remorse because the elections are A/B tests. If you ask me to make a pro-Trump argument, I wouldn't, but I can probably come up with anti-Biden arguments. And Biden is not going to make a pro-Biden argument. He's going to make anti-Trump arguments. And it's these two different hate factories that we have targeted at each other, and that's the way the politics work. And my judgment is Trump will easily win that. But the election is a relative choice. The post-election is absolute. And then it'll be like, if Biden wins, like, how did we get this senile old man? And if Trump wins, it'll be, wow, this is,
Can I just ask you this?
It's still like this clown show or whatever people will say.
I'm not going to ask you to make the pro-Trump argument.
But that's sort of.
I understand. But let me ask you about what I imagine is your anti-Biden argument. I look at the last 4 years and say to myself, if you were in Silicon Valley and you owned stock in these tech companies over the last 4 years, they virtually did nothing but go up. And I know, I wonder if you can make the argument, because we can talk about Lena Khan and we can talk about regulations and potential taxes and all sorts of things, but it's hard for me to look at the last 4 years and say, especially if I was sitting, I would imagine in your seat and say, this was a terrible travesty. But maybe I don't understand.
Well, I mean, I don't know. This may not be believable to you, but I don't think it's the only thing I care about is whether the country is good for the tech billionaires. And I think there are a lot of people who have not experienced the last 3 or 4 years this way. I think one of the things Carville said in the earlier presentation just before this one that I thought was quite good was, there's been a shocking loss of support by the Democrats in the 18 to 35-year voters, and it's because you can't get on the housing ladder. You can the college debt's overwhelming. You can never get started, and so there's sort of a sense that.
You think he'd be able to fix that?
I don't. I think it's just an up-down referendum on the incumbent at this point, and my guess is that the sense is Biden's definitely not going to fix it, and his time will run out, and then this is where I'm not overly excited. I don't think Trump will particularly fix it, but look, the place where people at this in the audience here, I think, are just maximally divergent. Yes, the stock market has been great for people here. You're in this wonderful bubble in Aspen where it's like, I know Clinton is still president and it's 1995, and everything is just getting better every day in every way, and it's like some new age chant. If you just say that to yourselves, it's true, and then the part of the Trump statement that I think was the most offensive thing he said. It was very offensive, not just to Democrats and to Republicans, and especially Silicon Valley, was "Make America Great Again," because that was a pessimistic slogan. It was the most pessimistic slogan a major presidential candidate ever had, because what it says implicitly is this is no longer a great country. Right. And that's what you are never supposed to say, especially if you're a Republican. That's why the Bush people probably hate him more than anybody in this audience, And then Silicon Valley was, it's somewhat offensive to people in New York City, but the bankers on Wall Street don't really think they're making the country a great place, so it's not personally offensive. It was personally offensive to Silicon Valley. And yet I always think, there is this problem of stagnation. There is this problem we're stuck. There's a sense that, we're not progressing in all these ways as a society as much as we have. I don't think Trump has all the answers, but I think, what I said in 2016 is the first step, towards solving problems is to at least talk about them.
What about the polarization part?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.